Our newsletter open rate last month was 39%, while the average open rate is only somewhere around 27. And with most would-be thought leaders barely cracking 20%. In the next 12 minutes, I'll show you the exact content framework that ignites influence and turns you into the signal while your competition drowns in the noise. But first, we need to go over the lie that keeps you invisible online. Hello, my name is Ryan Hanley. I've built and sold companies, performed more than 400 keynotes, have more than 2 million downloads on this podcast, and coached hundreds of leaders like you to achieve results they never thought possible. But I was invisible for years. Every platform, publishing everywhere, content calendar looked like some sort of military operation. And the result was absolutely nothing. I was just noise. I was background static in a room where everyone was screaming. Then I discovered something that changed everything when it came to my content production. I'm going to reveal a 4-letter framework in just 3 minutes that's going to change the way you view. It's going to put it in the simplest terms. But first, you need to understand the lie that's destroying your influence. If you know me, you know I'm prone to shiny object syndrome. And to be honest with you, I was drowning in marketing tools. ConvertKit for emails, HubSpot for CRM, landing page software, automation, webinar software. I was paying over $500 a month and spending half my day just switching between these different platforms. Then I discovered Go High Level. One platform, one login, everything I need to run Finding Peak. The podcast, the newsletter, speaking business, coaching business, all of it. Over 1.5 million businesses have already made the switch, and now I know why. If you're tired of juggling tools, I got a special 14-day free trial deal for listeners. No questions asked, no contracts, cancel anytime you want. Simplicity scales. Go High Level is the answer. To get the deal, click the link in the description, whether you're listening on Apple or Spotify or even watching on YouTube. This, my friends, is the way. Because we've all been sold a lie. 3 lies in particular. Lie number 1, more content equals more influence. Lie number 2, being everywhere means being influential. And lie number 3, frequency beats focus. And guys, I bought all 3. How do I know that so many people make this mistake? It's because I bought into all 3 of these lies. Podcasting, blogging, LinkedIn, Twitter, now X, Instagram. It's something that it's like out of a Gary Vaynerchuk nightmare, right? Just all this posting with absolutely no results, or no results that were meaningful. Nothing that was driving my business. Maybe some vanity metrics, but nothing meaningful to my business. Because you know what? That's exactly what happened. Nothing. Then I studied the leaders who are actually moving mountains today. Alex Hormozi, Cody Sanchez, Salil Bloom, and discovered something that changed everything about the way I created content. But hold up, let me ask you something. When was the last time a piece of content truly stopped you in your tracks? Like, what was it? Was it because they posted 50 times a day that particular piece of content grabbed you? Or was it because they said something, one thing, so powerfully that you just simply couldn't ignore it? Remember those numbers, 39% open rate? Here's the moment everything changed for me. This is how we pushed from industry averages to the top of the leaderboard when it comes to open rate for our newsletter. I stopped trying to be everything to everyone and started being something specific to someone specific. I went from finding peak performance to I help unreasonable entrepreneurs and leaders find clarity in chaos to achieve unreasonable success. Better, much better. The most powerful communicators don't win by creating more. They win by creating more impact. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you with my FIRE framework. But first, let me show you why most people will never do this and why, if you implement the FIRE framework, it will be such a competitive advantage for you. See, I was background static for years. I created so much content, a ridiculous amount of content that no one cared about. Maybe they gave it a like, but it didn't move any of the needles that mattered. And most of you watching this are making the same mistakes that I did right now. You'll nod along, you'll think maybe this makes sense, and then you'll go back to posting everywhere and creating zero impact and no real results for your business. And then you'll burn out and you'll blame content creation as the problem. And why is that? Because what I'm about to show you requires courage. The courage to focus when everyone else says frequency and diversity. Be everywhere. That is bad advice. Most people aren't willing to take that risk. They'd rather hide behind complex systems that make them seem important and valuable, but again, don't actually produce results. But if you're one of the few willing to do what it takes, I'm going to share with you right now the framework that in 1 week increased my newsletter views by 36,876. 1 week. Are you ready? This framework has 4 letters, and if you master all 4, you will never be invisible again. And it's simple, and it's easy, and it's got a gangster name. But if you miss even one, there is a very good possibility that you stay background noise forever. So what is this content framework? It is the FIRE framework, the content framework that ignites influence. See what I did there? So what is the FIRE framework and what does it stand for? Well, the F stands for focus over frequency. Stop posting everywhere. Start dominating one platform, one medium. How do we get to a 39% open rate? I focus on the newsletter first. Everything is driven through the newsletter, not TikTok, not Instagram stories, not LinkedIn, the newsletter. One channel, maximum impact. Everything else that I post is a derivative of the newsletter, meaning create once, post multiple times, but everything is built for the newsletter, including this video. The math is simple. I'd rather have 1,000 people read everything I write than have 100,000 people scroll past my post because it simply doesn't speak to them. The I, intensity over information. We're not trying to just teach, we're trying to transform. Your audience doesn't need more information, they need more conviction to solve their problems. I tell my coaching clients to choose a side and have a take. And some people misunderstand this. I don't mean be controversial or provocative or inflammatory simply to be so. But you must have an opinion on the topics that matter to your business and to your prospects and customers. This intensity to a concept or an idea creates connection. It gives people something to grab onto. That connection creates a tribe. Tribes create movements, and movements grow your business. The R in FIRE stands for repetition over reach. Say the same thing 100 different ways to 1,000 people. Don't say 100 different things to 100,000 people. Does that make sense? Meaning, take the same idea. Take one of our core ideas here. What you focus on is who you become. And you can chop that idea up over and over and over again in a million different ways that bring people back to what you focus on is who you become. I've said it 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways. It was the core message of my TEDx talk. Stop living a life you didn't choose. And if you're interested in watching that, I'll have a link below in the description. You can check that video out. The importance of repetition is backed by science. There's the Ebbinghaus Forgetting Curve. People forget 70% of new information within 24 hours, meaning we have to hit them again. Magna and Roku combined to do a study that said 10 to 15 exposures for maximum recall. And there's the unscience-backed, and then there is the completely unscientific rule of 7, which says you need 7 exposures before it sinks in. So we can assume your minimum is 7, and you need to be upwhere somewhere around 10 to 15 touches in order for someone to recall, because we are forgetting 70% of the information that we hear every 24 hours. Say it again, say it again, say it again to the point that you are sick of saying it, because I promise you your audience will not be sick of hearing it. The E in FIRE stands for exclusion over inclusion. Build a tribe, not just followers. Your content should act as a filter, repelling the wrong people, the people who will never be clients of yours, the people who you don't want to be clients, so that it attracts the right ones. My content repels people who want easy answers. It attracts people who want real transformation. Every day, new people subscribe and others unsubscribe as their need for my message changes, and that's exactly how content is supposed to work. But wait, there's more. FIRE is just a strategy. It's the filtering mechanism that you use when you're creating content. But there is an execution template that brings it all together. Where FIRE is the strategy, Signal is the execution. Every piece of content you create should follow this template, the Signal template. The S stands for stop. Your opening hook must stop the scroll. A confession, a contradiction, a pattern interrupt, something like, I got a 39% open rate by breaking every email rule. Intrigue, create a curiosity gap. Tell them something real with stakes. An example of this could be, I spent months crafting the perfect message and got crickets, which, by the way, has happened many, many times, especially earlier in my career. And in all transparency, still happens today. We all miss, right? If you're creating and you're testing, you're going to have messages that don't hit. That's just the name of the game. All right, the G in Signal stands for give. Deliver one actionable insight, one clear give. Not 3, not 5, one thing that they can use today. The FIRE framework is the give in this video. I want you to think through the acronym FIRE with every piece of content that you create. The N stands for navigate. Don't ask them to buy something, ask them to become something. People will buy if they believe that you can help them achieve a transformation. When they believe, the buy becomes inevitable. The A in Signal stands for anchor. End with something unmistakably you. Your unique stamp. Mine, this is the way. And this is the way from The Mandalorian. The statement has intrinsic value to me, and for those who understand its meaning, it's another filter for filtering out people who aren't a good fit and filtering in people who are. And the L in Signal stands for link. Connect to what's next. Create anticipation. Later this week, I'm going to drop the 7 AI tools out of more than 300 that I've tested that I believe are the perfect series of tools for massively scaling your content production. And that's real, by the way. If you subscribe, click the notification bell, you'll get that video when it comes out. So let me be brutally honest with you. Most of you won't do any of this. You'll keep hiding behind complex systems and testing things and using big words and elaborate systems and trying to sound important without actually creating any value. And why is that? Because the FIRE framework requires courage. The courage to focus when everyone else says frequency and diversity of content. The courage to be intense when everyone says be balanced. The courage to repeat your message when everyone else is trying to be original. The courage to be exclusionary, to use your content as a filter, to filter out the wrong people and filter in the right. But easy doesn't build empires, my friends. I mean, that's obvious. Easy doesn't change lives. Easy doesn't create the kind of influence that moves mountains, that moves the needle of your business to true growth. I mean, content should grow your business. 36,000 views in 1 week by reframing all our content through the FIRE framework. That's what happens when you implement a system like the FIRE framework. So here's your choice. And what you decide in the next 60 seconds will determine the success of your content moving forward. You have 2 paths to choose from. The choice is yours. Path 1, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what everyone else is doing, keep adding to the noise and stay invisible. Then blame content and go back to doing whatever you've done. That is not the path to success, my friends. Path number 2, the path that I advocate, that I implore you to choose, is to use the FIRE framework It's simple, it's repeatable. Focus over frequency. Intensity over information, repetition over reach, exclusion over inclusion. I believe you're watching this because you have something to say, something that can help people, something that will build the influence you need to be successful. Choose path number 2. Choose the FIRE framework. Claim your influence. Your life will get better. Your business will grow. I promise you. If you're ready to stop being invisible and start igniting influence, guys, I love talking about this stuff. It's a large part of what this channel is all about. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because, as I said, the next episode of the show that's coming out is going to be breaking down 7 AI tools that I have cultivated out of more than 300 plus tools that I tried, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours of testing AI tools. There are 7 that, when put together, have drastically amplified my ability to create content at scale. Passing them through the FIRE framework, obviously. And if you want that video, you need to be subscribed. And if you want to go even deeper right now, check out the episode that I did called The Influence Paradox. It is a great table setter for why influence is so important and how we use it. A simple, consistent, valuable content strategy, the FIRE framework, will change the course of your life and business. I'm glad you're here. I love you for being here. This is the way.